Hello.
Ronnie Prado.
Yes, sir.
How's the video? How's the audio on your end?
It's nice and good. How's it sound on your end?
Yeah, it sounds really good. I got a little Bose speaker that I put to the side because it's easier for me to hear. Well, man, what a pleasure. And thank you so much for agreeing to do this. And
Absolutely.
I've been wanting to catch up with you for a long time. As soon as I heard you were into it, I kept asking Ronnie Taylor, hey, how the hell can I help Ronnie Prado? And there's no good way to help you. You got it going on. So anyway, we're just like a group of fans that we call ourselves couch racers, and Becca can't join us because she's at her grandmother's having dinner. But I figured I'd just ask you a few things and then see if we couldn't catch up with you another time or whatever. So like just starting off, like tell us how you got into being a Supercross manager, team manager, and what was the path that got you from where you were to life as a team manager and sponsor of multiple riders. I'll shut up.
No, it's all good. Growing up in South Austin, Texas, we always had me and my brothers had mini bikes and then little dirt bikes. My dad took us to a race in Lockhart, Texas, and we were hooked. Started racing the very next weekend. And of course, back in the day, kids had heroes, and one of mine was actually Roger DeCoster and guys like Evil Knievel and Richard Petty, and and once the motocross bug hits you, it never leaves you. So raced through elementary school, middle school, high school, and out of high school. I think in '83 I turned pro and kept on, and then you keep up with all the big names of McGrath and Stewart and Carmichael and all the guys that were around, and and how I got into the pro level of ownership and sponsorship is you think of these things and you never know that they could actually come true. And I was at a pro race and I was kind of laughing with another rider, and one thing led to another, and I said, hey, I'd be willing to help you, like pay entry fee. And we became friends, and that rider was Scotty Winterstrom, and I've been his title sponsor ever since. I guess I'm on my 5th year now, and one rider has turned into 15 riders.
So that's what's really interesting to us as fans is, we understand it's fairly simple to see what a factory team does, what a factory team is like, but it's just a small part of the racing. There's all the privateer that make it into the TV show, and then all of the Lorettas and the qualifiers and all that stuff. And it got us wondering how in the world does a rider work in those ranks? And it came to me, it's like, well, that's what Prado is doing. So you were talking about levels of sponsorship and title sponsor. Tell us more about that.
Well, I have 2 riders that I would call a title ride, meaning they're running my company logo primarily and on the big section of the shrouds of the motorcycle, and they have what I would call a full ride. They're fully funded with equipment and enough to go pro racing throughout the year. And then I have other riders that I guess I'm a co-title sponsor on, and we kind of put things together and get these guys going, and then the list just goes on and on and on. And I guess how I decide on these riders is basically we're friends first, and then it's like I just want to help them out. It's a cool thing.
Now that's really a cool thing because a rider is more than just a guy on a bike, right? There's character and others.
Yeah, yeah. You become close with them, and then some of them are married, some of them have kids, some of them are young, some are a little bit older, but they've made it to the professional ranks. And I always give credit to the parents. I mean, these parents were taking these kids on PW50s to Loretta's. and all the local tracks, and having to get off work on a Friday to go to, their local tracks. And, and I'm blessed and honored to kind of like carry that torch for some of these parents, because it's a very expensive sport, and it's a very dangerous sport. So even to make it to the pro ranks, you've survived injuries, and you're still competing. We compete against the best in the world every single weekend.
Yeah, got it. So speaking of riders that you sponsor, I'm going to touch on something. I don't know if you want to talk about or not, but it's up to you. In the LCQ at Atlanta, there was an event, an incident that took out 2 riders, and it turns out they were both your riders. You mind talking about it?
Oh, not at all. I mean, so that was Jawan Cross and John Short, and both of those riders are on the Mad Parts Big Buildings Direct Ronnie Prado Company race team. And these guys are wide open. And I saw John coming in with a huge head of steam, and is pretty much 180-degree right hand corner, and I knew he couldn't stop. He was going too fast, and just slammed into Jawan, and both of them went down, and neither one of them made the main. So, you know, as a father figure to these guys, there was a little bit of trash talking, a little bit of anger on Jawan's end, but at the end of the day, the equipment was good and nobody got hurt, and we laughed it off. So it's all good. I actually told John, I said, "Hey man, I got a brand new set of brake pads for that bike if you need to borrow them." And he says, "Yeah, man, it was my fault." So it's all good. We're still blessed and honored to go to the next round, and that's what we're doing. But it was kind of funny. We did laugh about it.
Well, it's good. It's good you laugh about it, because some of the joking that was going on about John Short is that maybe after he grew his mustache, he wasn't able to look down and see his brake pedal.
I haven't heard that one, but that's pretty funny. We cut up no matter what, but yeah, these guys ride with, I mean, they ride with fury, and they're going out there to do a job, and they're all like that. So, if something happens, I've told these guys, I said, "Hey, in Supercross, either you're gonna put it on somebody or they're gonna put it on you. And when we get off the track, we're friends. It's just business, and it's just racing." But they are high spirited guys, and they will go for it.
Well, it makes sense. And then when you look at the replays, you can see that there just wasn't any way he was going to stop in time. And then Joan there's no way that he would have known he was coming in that hot when he decided to cut down and take that inside line, because there were other riders around him. And it is LCQ madness. And you just have a couple of minutes to figure this all out. And it's all or nothing, huh?
Yeah. It's good. We're constantly learning, and like I said, we're going to the next round, and everybody's happy and healthy, and we're good, man.
Nah, it's really good. Now, we're glad to see no one was hurt, that the bikes were okay. So I just had to get that one out. I apologize for asking you a tough question like that, but it was definitely getting a lot of airplay on TV, and it was also getting a lot of attention online after the fact. So I thought, well, this is good for Prado. I also thought that the story hadn't really been told, and so maybe we'll take, when we put this out there for general consumption, people can tell a story, because honestly, I didn't know that John Short was on your team. I didn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, I've been helping John for quite a while, and he's a brand new dad. I mean, he's got a new little girl. She's only, I guess, 3 weeks old now at the most, 2.5, something like that.
I didn't realize that. That's
Yeah, first time dad, and it's all good, man. We're a very tight niche. All my guys that I help, which I actually nicknamed them my pro hoodlums, I'm very close to them, and their parents, and their spouses, and their kids. It's a good thing to see their faces every weekend. When I go to the races, I don't go to all of them. I go to about every other one or so. Sometimes I'll skip 2 or 3 and then go,
Yeah, I
because
got it.
trying to maintain my job as well.
Well, so let's talk about the future. Obviously, you guys are going to be at East Rutherford.
Yes.
Yeah. So you are both you guys. Are we going to have a repeat of the LCQ? I'll quit kidding around about that. Will John and Scotty both be there?
Oh yeah, yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's going to be quite a few Prado riders there, and nothing changes. We're gonna go through it and qualify and see if we can get in that main event on those 450s. It's very hard to do, and these guys that we're racing every weekend are the best in the world. So I mean, they when they go out there, they're going for it. That's all I can tell you, because it's very, very tough. And you can take the guys that don't even make the night shows and take them to any track in America, and they will just whip everybody. That's how tough the competition is.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, one of the riders that we're going to talk to tomorrow, Cheyenne Harmon, he's from Texas, and when I was racing cross country, Cheyenne was in the pro, and when he came to the track, he would lap us on a cross country, and then you see him go out to a supercross race, and he struggles to qualify, and that just tells you it's deceiving, because you think the guys in back, are slow. They're not, not at all.
Yeah.
So
No,
y'all do.
they're extremely fast.
So and then do you guys just do supercross, or do you do the outdoors as well?
Primarily supercross, but we always like Curran Thurman and I will do 4 to 6 rounds a year every year in outdoor, and we're thinking about doing all 12 rounds this summer.
Do you have any riders in the futures?
I do. I have Luke Dickey. He has been in futures for about 2 years. He actually has his pro card. I think he's going to do one more round in futures and then join us in the 250 East.
Excellent. Yeah. Excellent. No, that's good. It's so nice to see some really good young talent still coming into the sport. It tells us when this crop, who's really been with us for a long time, they're going to retire. And we always wonder if there's going to be a new crop that comes along. And then as sure as you start questioning that, you get the likes of Hayden Deegan and the Lawrence brothers and Thrasher, who's unfortunately now hurt, Jordan Smith. I mean, all these guys are incredible.
They are. They are incredible. I mean,
what do you think about the long series? Better, not better?
Oh, it's better. I've talked to some riders in the past that are like, they call us crazy because we do the outdoor. And I've talked to some of the outdoor guys and they say, man, you're crazy for doing supercross. But now, top 20 going to, in each class, going to the what is it called? The world, or excuse me, the super motocross.
Yeah, the playoffs. Yeah.
Yeah, the playoffs. And that's going to be really, really interesting. So now you have their brains thinking, well, heck, if I'm hanging around 19th or 20th, and we do have a couple of riders in there right now, then all of a sudden they're going to want to do the outdoor. So yeah, I'm rooting for actually all 20 450 riders to get in there, no matter who they are. It's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, it will be really good. It's a really nice element for the fans. This is the best it's ever been for fans. And you can imagine the online community. There's always folks that have their criticisms of the broadcast. They don't remember the days when you had to wait a week to read about it in Cycle News magazine.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Central Pipeline. Yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah, Central Pipeline. Okay, so tell us either tell us a little bit about your sponsors, or at least tell us how fans can help.
That's a great question. I do have some great sponsors. They've been with me since day one. Double Tough Tarp, Hot Rod Garage, 5 Star Construction, Boxo Tools, Pirelli Tires, have been unbelievable to us. Love those guys. Kep's Performance out of Liberty Hill, Texas. And I'm sure there's a few more. I'm not looking at our bikes right now, but those are our main sponsors. And without them, I can't keep my dream going with, the dreams of my riders going. So really anybody can help with, any way they want to. I'm easy to get a hold of. And, I've actually had people come up to me, say in Anaheim or Daytona or Atlanta and say, hey man, how does this work? How would I like to get on your motorcycles or your shirts or whatever? And I just say, hey, here's my number. I own this team. Just call me. And, then they're asking like, is there a minimum? And I'm like, no way. You came to me, you tell me, let's start with a chili dog and a Dr. Pepper in the stadium. We'll take anything. So, and they start laughing, and I kind of ease the language of telling them it's just not that hard, but we would take, we'd love to have you. We'd be honored. And that's how it gets going.
Now that's really pretty cool. Okay. So that's easy enough. And if we get people that make comments below, we can give them, I have your number. We can get them in touch with you. But that's really cool. In fact, we were thinking about a logo for our little Couch Racers fan group, and we'll probably make you an offer, and maybe we can get our logo on one of those bikes for one of the races. Ronnie, that'd be so cool for us.
Oh yeah, it'd be our honor. And it's a very expensive sport, and and I'm blessed that we can help these riders, and the sponsors that I have currently, and they know, they know me well, and I know them, and I thank them constantly. And, we do the best we can to represent them across America. It's a really cool thing. So, even we have some that are actually pretty small, but we treat them the same because we're so appreciative of somebody wanting to step up and help us.
Well, what'd be cool is if we could do a check-in with you in a few weeks after
Sure.
some of the rounds have passed and you know where your guys stand. I'd love to check back in with you.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime.
Yeah, that'd be super cool. One last question, and this is coming from us both being from Austin, Texas. I told you earlier that I'm over here in Maryland now. One of the struggles that I have here in Maryland is finding good tacos. My question is when you're on the road, how do you satisfy your craving for tacos?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, there's nothing we can do about that. You can't get a good brisket taco in, Atlanta or, San Francisco or wherever. I mean, we just have to tough it out till we get home.
Out for 4 years over here in Maryland. Hey, Ronnie, thanks a bunch, man. I appreciate your time.
Oh, thank you so much, Mark. It's been
any thoughts you want to leave us with?
No, I mean, I want to say thank you to, again, all of our sponsors. And, I have a couple of riders that are injured right now. Bubba Pauly, unfortunately, lost his thumb a few weeks ago, but he's going to make a full recovery, and he's got kind of a nub. So he fully intends on getting back on the motorcycle. And J.R. Reyes is, at the same time, had a lacerated liver, and he's making a full recovery. And, I want these guys back on those motorcycles. That's where they belong. And just keep praying for all of our safety and other riders and other sponsors and other team owners as well. Because, when we're in the pits and we're setting up on Thursday or Friday, it's not very big, Mark. We know each other, and we actually root for everybody else to do well. So we're constantly giving each other support throughout the entire season.
What a great experience, Fredo. Man, I love it. Yeah. I remember you when you were riding a white 175 Yamaha IMAX. Those are the good old days.
Yeah, the good old days. Yeah, that was good.
Austin was a magic place, man, and that day track and all. But we don't want to start reminiscing. No one wants to hear the stories of the old days. I appreciate you, sir.
Oh, thank you, Mark. Anytime.
All right, sounds good, man. Talk to you soon.
Okay, bye-bye.